Alright guys, I'm back for another video. Doing a little bit different style video in this one. It's going to be a series that I'm probably going to end up introducing into my channel slowly. Now that I can finally add images into my videos a different way, I'm going to have to delay the video on this, I can't say my friend, but somebody pretending to be John from LG. I'm going to just hold off on that video for a little bit. It's taken me a little bit longer to do it, and I'm running into some issues, but here goes on my first top 10 series on my YouTube channel. Like I said, I'll be slowly doing this, but we're going to do top 10 assault rifles dating from, I think, Modern Warfare 3. I don't think I have any in Modern Warfare 2, but Modern Warfare 3 all the way through until IW. I don't do World War II and I don't do Black Ops 4 because when I originally had this idea, IW was actually out, and I didn't really want to include anything from this Call of Duty or World War II because World War II is such a bad game. So we're going to do 9 to 1, and these are in a specific order, and these are not what the community have voted on. This is what I voted on because I don't have enough people to vote on which one people liked more than another. So we're just going to go with my top 10 personally, and it'll probably end up doing top 10 personally in all these videos. So coming in at number 10 is the G36C from Modern Warfare 3. Not a very popular gun in the game, but it was one of my personal favorites from the game. I liked this gun much. It was strong, had a recoil though, but it was really fun to use because the damage rate was so high on it that it kind of made up for the fact that it had such terrible recoil. But also, the iron sights were so bad on it that it required a red dot sight, which actually was just one useless attachment that you were going to need, so it took away from being able to put on something else. But I normally put an extended mag and the red dot, as it allowed the double attachments as a perk, or no, it wasn't a perk, but that's what I did for the G36C. Coming in number 9 is the FAMAS from BO1. I did not play a large amount of BO1, but I know the FAMAS was a personal favorite of everybody that did play it, and it wasn't my personal favorite in BO1, but I knew that most people would agree that one of the better BO1 assault rifles was the FAMAS. Some people will say the Commando, but I know the FAMAS was the competitive gun to use in Black Ops 1, so that's why I chose it. I don't know too much about the gun to really explain it, but I just threw it in there because I knew most people enjoyed it and would like it in the series. Number 8, this is a personal favorite, the HBRA from AW. Excuse me. Personal favorite, only because the Insanity variant was just so good in the game that it was such a good pub stomping weapon, but it was not a competitive or used by the professionals that much, unless you want to make fun of Nade Shot in the COD champs, but we're not going to go there. But Insanity was just such a monster of a gun. It was probably my go-to when it came to streaking because it had increased fire rate, but I think it was +2 fire rate but -1 damage, but it didn't even matter because the fire rate was so good that they actually nerfed the fire rate on the default variant of the gun, which that's why because the Insanity was just too overpowered. Coming in at number 7 was the FAL from Modern Warfare 2. This gun, if you had a good trigger finger, it did not matter. It was going to annihilate from the start of the gunfights. I didn't use it a whole lot because the ACR was still very popular in Modern Warfare 2, but the FAL offered such a good competitive weapon towards the ACR because if you had such a great trigger finger, you didn't stand a chance being able to win the gunfight. And it didn't have much recoil, which made it a very good gun to use. Number 6 is the KBR from IW. A lot of people might think this is a little bit further up the list, but I didn't play IW for the full year, so I didn't really put this high up on the list, but I know KBR was such a good gun because it could be used as a sub and it could be used as an assault rifle because of its fire rate, and it didn't really have a good recoil. So KBR was such a reliable gun to win gunfights on. Um, Coming in at number 5, okay, is the AN-94 from Black Ops 2. This could go either way between the AN-94 or the FAL from the FAL from BO2. I know the FAL was another very popular gun in Black Ops 2 because you could put select fire on it, which made it a pretty deadly weapon compared to the AN. So this could go either way between the AN and the FAL. The FAL in BO2 was one of my personal favorites. So was the AN, but I'm gonna have to give it a little bit more to the FAL than the KN. I threw the KN in here, or sorry, the AN in here because it was a personal favorite of a lot of people, and I thought I should throw it into the series or this episode. Coming in at number 4 is the Honey Badger from Ghost. Now, the reason this is so much higher up on the list is because silencers is one of my favorite attachments on assault rifles. And this one had an integrated silencer, so I didn't even have to waste an attachment slot for the silencer. I already had it. And the the Honey Badger was a very reliable weapon regardless, especially in pub stomping, not in competitive, but more in the pub stomping because it allowed you to shriek easier. It was also a very easy gun to get chem strikes with, which was another reason why I really enjoyed using the Honey Badger over the Remington. But speaking of Remington, that comes in at number 3. And the reason it's number 3 and not 4 is because it offered the thermal sight on the Remington, which made it a very, very, very reliable weapon, and a lot of people used it in Ghost for as their weapon of choice because the thermal sight allowed you to see anyone crossing on the map, especially I think the map was Octane, or I forget, but you could see them crossing the map, which made it very easy for callouts, and it also made the gun pretty accurate. It nerfed the recoil a little bit because the iron sights on the gun were so terrible. The iron sights were so bad on the Remington, in my opinion, that it needed a red dot or a thermal, and I think the sight of choice would be the thermal over the red dot. And also you could flip the sight to the side and use it as a red dot. So if you were in a gunfight in close range with a thermal and you don't kill them, you could quickly switch to the red dot, which would allow you to see a little bit easier up close in closer range gunfights. So the Remington was a very good gun, minimal recoil if not zero recoil at all, which made it also a very good gun to use as well. So coming in number 2 is probably the BAL from the BAL or the BAL, whichever you want to call it, from Advanced Warfare. And this is my second gun from Advanced Warfare, but the BAL, no matter what they did to this gun, it never had recoil. It always came down to just putting a grip on it, and it was such a good gun with its fire rate and no recoil that it is probably one of the deadliest ARs to ever come to competitive. I'm not including the ICR from BO4, but because it is very, very close to the ICR. But the BAL, it had good ammo pool. If you put a stock and a grip on it, I mean, it didn't even need a red dot. I mean, if you truly, truly didn't have the best accuracy, you needed a red dot, then it could. But I don't think it needed a red dot. Stock and grip made the gun pretty good that it could outgun almost anyone on that list because of the fire rate. Mostly because of the fire rate and zero recoil. Coming in number 1, this isn't going to be much of a surprise to anyone, but it is the ACR from Modern Warfare 3. Probably more deadlier than the BAL in my opinion is the ACR. It is probably one of the most favorited ARs to ever come to Call of Duty. And you know, a lot of people have been wanting this gun to make its return as a DLC weapon, or just actually just put into one of the Call of Duties, but they haven't made a Modern Warfare game since 3, so I'm not surprised they haven't really made its return So, but this gun was just so good with a silencer and a extended mag, and it didn't even need a red dot because the sights were so much better in 3 than they were in Modern Warfare 2. It made getting the Moabs in Modern Warfare 3 just a lot easier, especially with specialists, than any other assault rifle in the game. It is a fan favorite, and it always will be one of the most favorited ARs to ever come to Call of Duty. I hope they never bring it back in any other Call of Duty because it just won't compare to the Modern Warfare 3s. So that is the end of my list. Now, if you guys want to see any specific top 10 maps, top 10 subs, top 10 anything, just let me know. I can do it. It doesn't even have to be Call of Duty related. It could be Pokemon. It could be anything you guys want. Comment below. I'm going to come up with some pretty unique top 10s. It's not going to be typical top 10s like everybody else does, but I thought I should just open up with assault rifles, being that assault rifles are my personal favorite weapon in Call of Duty. So comment with criticism on the video. If you don't like my top 10 that I chose, or you guys want to choose some, just let me know down below in the comment section. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Peace.